Hi all, good morning, good evening. Welcome to day one of our exclusive training, JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter. And the training is in line with BlazeMeter Intro and Pro JMeter certification. So my name is Chandra, and I'll be your trainer for this, training on JMeter. So guys, yesterday we had the demo session, right? And in the demo session, we have gone through the topics which I'm going to cover as part of this training. Along with that, we have started with some of the introduction. So we'll continue from there. As I told you yesterday, each and every session is going to be recorded. You will have the lifetime access to the recordings. So the recordings will be shared the very next day, guys. So you'll all have the lifetime access to the videos, each and every document, each and every notes, whatever I present during the sessions will be shared with you all the test scripts, test results, right? And other, topics, whatever is documented, that will be shared with you all, guys. The interview questions will be discussed with each, related to each and every topic, as well as the questions related to the JMeter certifications will also be discussed. So yes, today, we'll be continuing with our session, and I had given a question, guys. Performance testing, right, is a type of functional testing or non-functional testing. Definitely, performance testing is a type of non-functional testing where we are not verifying the functionality, because for functional testing we are again doing different types of testing, that is unit testing, system integration testing, right? So then user acceptance testing. So for performance testing point of view, our objective is on the non-functional aspect. So an application might be working correct as per the functionality, but if it is not responding to the user, or it is responding very slowly, then the performance is not good, right? So that is why performance testing is a type of non-functional testing, guys. So before I start for the day, anyone has any queries from the previous session? Anyone, any queries from the previous session? Okay, so I'll take it as a no, guys. But yes, I encourage you all to please ask questions as much as possible, clarify all your doubts, okay? And do not keep the questions to yourself. Please share in the group. And if you are hesitant to speak, guys, you can put your questions in the chat also. So I'll be starting to share my screen. Once I start sharing my screen, I'll not be able to see your questions in the chat. So in between I'll come and check, guys, but in case you have any queries, please raise your hand, or sorry, please unmute yourself and ask your query. Okay, so I'll start sharing my screen. Hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can anyone confirm?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So guys, yesterday we had started with this particular topic, right? Why performance testing is required. Clear, everyone? So I told you that there are three main reasons because of which performance testing is required. They are speed, right? Scalability and reliability. Now let me explain them, guys. What is speed? Guys, whenever you are using any application, right? May it be a web application, may it be a mobile application, may it be a desktop application, any application you are using. So when you are using, you are the user of that application. Agree? So when you are the user and you are using that application, the let's say it is a web application, guys, and you are trying to launch the application, launch the website, launch the URL. What happens? A
Load.
page will open up on your browser. Agree? A page will open up on your browser. Now it will take some time, right? So as soon as you enter the URL and hit enter, some applications will load very fast or will appear on your browser very fast. Some applications will take longer times to appear on your browser. sometimes the page keeps on loading, right? Keeps on loading. Also, guys, whenever any page loads, does all the elements on the page load at one go? No, right? Some portions of the page load faster, or some elements load faster, and some elements appear a bit late for the same page. Do all of you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. So speed means the rate, right? Or the how fast the application loads for the user. That is the speed. Now it is only about a page, guys, or a web page. Now let's say uh, we all are, let's say, working in a company, and we get the salary, right? Now to get this salary, what happens, guys? Payroll runs, right? Payroll is a process. The payroll is processed. Now, in order to process the payroll, from a functional point of view, there are different inputs required, like what is your salary, how many leaves have you availed, right? And human resources aspects, all those things will be taken into account, and your payroll will be processed for that particular month. Now there will be a process in the application, there will be a batch job in the application to process your payroll. Yes or no, guys? Now if a payroll process, or the same payroll process, okay, the same payroll process is processing the payroll for 1000 employees, and the same payroll process is processing the payroll for 10,000 employees, do you think the time taken to complete the process will be same in both the cases? Anyone?
No.
No.
No, right?
Yes.
The payroll process for 1000 employees and the same payroll process for 10,000 employees, definitely there will be a difference. So it's not always about the loading of the page. Sometimes it could be about the background processes running in the application. Sometimes it could be the volume of, or let's say you are uploading a file, guys, right? You are uploading a file, or you are uploading some volume of records. You are doing a bulk upload. So that has to be also, that also has to happen at a expected speed. See, when you are loading the data, whether the data is loading correctly or not, that is none of my business. Whether the data is loading correctly or not, whether it is going to the required tables or not, that is different. That is functional aspect. How fast it is loading, how much time does it take to load the data, that is the metric, or that is the measurement in which I am interested. So all these things, whatever I explained, they revolve around the speed of the application. So it can be the speed of the application, right? Or the speed of any process, right? The speed of any operation. Yes or no? There are processes, guys, which run for almost 2 days, 3 days also. Okay. So all of you understood speed, right? So how fast my application is responding to the user, or how fast a process is getting completed in an application, how fast an operation is getting executed in an application. That is the speed. Clear, everyone? Next, guys, scalability. Now, you created one application, okay? Let's say ABC application. You are a startup. You have created one application. Today, you are expecting the application to be used by 1000 users. Okay. Today, you are expecting the application to be used by 1000 users. 3 years down the lane, guys. 3 years down the lane, will you expect the same 1000 users to use your application?
No.
How many will access, that is a different thing. But what is your expectation? Do you expect, or do you think that the same 1000 users who are using your application today, they will, that number will remain constant after 3 years?
No, sir.
Definitely not. right? It could go in either direction, but you should be always positive because it is your own application. You have created that application. You will always try to, popularize your application. Uh, Try to get more profits, right? And try to get more users onboarded to your application. So definitely, so on a positive note, guys, we can think that, let's say after 3 years, the volume becomes three times. Let's say 3,000 users are accessing the application, right? Now, guys, this application which you created today, you are expecting 1,000 users. After 3 years, let's say 3,000 users are going to use your application. If you have not designed your application, means as on today, when you are creating your application, if you have not thought of the future, right, and you have designed your application, are you again going to invest in your IT after 2 years again, or after 1 year again, so that they can cope up with that volume? Then again, after 2 years, they can cope up with the increased volume. After 3 years, they can again cope up with the increased volume. Does it work in that way, guys? Or
No.
should it work in that way? No.
No.
Right? So whenever I'm designing any application as on today, I should keep the futuristic volumetric. Very, very important term, guys. Volumetric. Right? I need to keep the futuristic volumetric in my mind. So my solution architect, whenever the solution, so the solution architect primarily designs the application, right? The architecture, the infrastructure, the capacity planning. So the solution architect should keep the futuristic volumetric in mind and design the application so that I do not have to upgrade my IT every time. Because investment in IT costs a lot, right? If I have just started my application, I haven't started making my profits yet, but if I keep on draining my money in upgrading my IT, then I'm never going to make profits. So whenever I'm going to design my application in the first place itself, I will think of the future volumetric and design the application. Now I am well aware that yes, my application can handle or can cope up 1,000 users, but I'm expecting it to have 3,000 users after 3 years. Now, do you expect as a tester, right? Do you expect that, okay, now I'm expecting 1,000, so I will test with 1,000 users only. When 3,000 users will come into my application, I'll see at that time. Should that be the approach? No. Today itself, right? Because I'm delivering a project, I'm working in a project for a application ABC, I need to verify that the application is able to cope up 3,000 users also. The application is able to accommodate 3,000 users also, guys. Clear, everyone? So that should be my objective. Now, guys, when this 1,000 is going towards 3,000, what is happening? The volume is scaling up. Yes or no? The volume is scaling up. The volume is going up. If the volume is going up, my application should also be able to scale up, guys. Okay, my application should be able to support that volumetric. So I'm verifying whether my application can scale up or not, whether my application can accommodate the increased volumetric. Okay, increased volumetric. Over there, I'm checking the scalability factor of my application. Here, everyone,
Yes.
all of you understood speed and scalability till now?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Yes, very good. So that is where, nowadays what happens during COVID, right? You all would have heard a term, digital transformation. Okay, digital transformation. Every means in most of the companies you would hear this term digital transformation. It is, it was just a marketing gimmick, guys. Means the different vendors were trying to make money out of this. They were trying to make the benefit out of it during the COVID era. So what was the objective, guys? They were telling that means during COVID, what happened? The businesses got disrupted. If my infrastructure was on premise, so I had a team who was maintaining my infrastructure, but it was at risk because people were not allowed to come to offices, right? So those all things were happening. So what happened? There was a phase known as digital transformation where the different vendors brought a new solution known as the cloud solution. The cloud's solution was present before also, guys, but it was not very popular. But during the COVID era, what happened? The cloud solutions became more popular. Every other project started to migrate, guys, from from on-premise to cloud, because they came with a guarantee that you don't have to maintain your infrastructure. We will be maintaining your infrastructure. You don't have to increase your infrastructure to accommodate the future volumetric. We can scale at ease. As per the requirement we can scale up, as per the requirement we can scale down. So they brought in all these things, because of which the different companies tried to migrate to cloud, adapt to cloud technologies, guys. Clear? But whether it is on premise, whether it is cloud, okay, whether your infrastructure is on premise, whether your infrastructure is on the cloud, scalability factor must be tested, guys. Even if my application is on premise, today I'm coming up with an application and I want to have my infrastructure on premise. So after 3 years, I'm again not going to increase, right? So today itself I'll plan, or at least I need to know that, okay, how much hardware do I need for my infrastructure to support these many users, or with this hardware whatever is given to me, how many users can I support? That confirmation I need to have, so that I can plan accordingly. That is where we are verifying the scalability factor. Next, guys, reliability. Let's say my application is having very good speed. My application is highly scalable. Okay, I'm erasing those things. So let's say my application is having very good speed. Let's say my application is highly scalable. But what about the question that whether it is going to have the same speed, whether it is going to have the same highly scalable factor over long periods of time? My application is used by 10,000 users, for example, or 1,000 users, for example. It is having very good speed for 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hours. But beyond that, it is not able to maintain the same performance. Or let's say it is able to handle the increase in users for 1 or 2 hours. But if the same volume remains on the system for longer period of time, the system is not able to cope up. So can I say that the performance of my application is good? No, because my application is not going to be used for 1 or 2 hours only. It is going to be used for extended hours. All of you clear? Right? So whether my application is reliable or not, whether my application is reliable or not. So for that particular purpose, guys, we conduct certain types of tests for longer duration of time, guys. Now I explained these three factors, guys: speed, scalability, and reliability. Can anyone tell me, okay, first of all, is there a different objective or not, guys, for each of the pointer?
Yes.
The first pointer or first bullet point, focuses on the speed of the application. The second one focuses on the scalability factor of the application. The third one focuses on the reliability of the application, whether my application is reliable or not. So guys, here what happens, in speed, when we are trying to measure the speed, I will focus on my average load. Okay, let's say today I'm, or in the month of January 800 users are going to use. In the month of February, let's say 1200, March 1100. So I take out the average and it comes out to be, let's say, 1000. Okay, so that is my average load or normal load. Okay, but let's say it is an e-commerce application, guys. So we have these festive sales, right? So during the festive sales, do you think the number of users using the application is same as the number of users using the same application during other periods of time, guys, in the year?
No.
No, right?
No.
It is definitely different. So during the festive sale, you have the increased number of users, my increased volumetric. Okay, so here I focus on my peak load, guys. In scalability, I focus on my peak load. Then in the reliability, here my load is not a big factor. Who can tell me what is a big factor here? What is the primary factor here for reliability?
Time.
Very good. Time. Longer durations of time, right? Clear, everyone? Are all of you understanding why performance testing is required? We have to assess the speed, the scalability, the reliability of the application. We have to evaluate it. But yes, now based on these factors, there are different types of tests also which we conduct. There are different types of tests which we conduct, but we will go to those, test types in our future sessions. Okay. Shall I move to the next section, guys? Any questions, anyone? Okay. So now we'll look into some of the common terminologies, guys, which is used in performance testing. So you all should be aware of these terms. Okay. Whoever has experience in performance testing, they would already be aware. But again, our training batch is basically, focusing on the JMeter part. So I'm assuming because there would be some people also who would not be into performance testing before. So for the benefit of everyone, we have to have a common ground, right? So guys, whenever we will do performance testing, we'll hear this term virtual user. Now let's say my expected volumetric is 10,000 users. Okay, my expected volumetric is 10,000 users. I have to test my application with 10,000 users. So guys, will I have, so my application has to be used by 10,000 users. So does that mean I'll recruit or I'll hire 10,000 people to do my performance test?
No.
No.
Are all of you trying to visualize? Am I going to recruit or hire 10,000 people to verify the performance of my application? Definitely not. Yes or no? That is why we are not doing the test with real users, guys. We are not doing the test with real users, right? Rather, we are doing the test with virtual user. Okay. Now you would be thinking, what is this virtual user? So virtual user means we have the performance testing tools. Okay. We have the performance testing tools. So whatever, navigation a user is supposed to do, a real user will do, right? Navigation, any navigation in an application, a real user will do. similar navigation, the same navigations will be done by the performance testing tool, guys. It will generate the users. Users means threads, connections to the application, and the real user behavior will be mimicked, guys. The tools will try to simulate the real user behavior. So because we are not testing the application with real users but virtual users, but yes, the load on the system, the load on my application is going to be the same, guys, because in the backend, right? So when a real user uses the application, in the backend the request goes to the application server, web server, right? Similarly here also, whenever the virtual user will try to mimic the user flow, similar kind of operations will happen in the backend, guys. And my objective is to test the backend performance of the application. I am not testing how the user is doing the navigation, or if I'm giving input A and I'm expecting output B, whether I'm getting output B or not. I should be getting output B, but I'm not verifying that here. Rather, I'm verifying whether my application is able to handle X number of users and giving the output as B whenever the input given is A. Okay. Now, guys, tell me, I have 1000 users. My input is A for all the users. My expected output is B. Do you think the expected output can differ for all the users? Not for all the users, means among those 1000 users, the actual output, can it be different for different users, even though the input is A for all the users? I'll repeat my question. For all the 1000 users, if the input is A, the same input is given, do you think, is it possible that some users will get the one actual output and some other users will get another actual output?
No, the output will be the same.
Output will be the same. Okay.
Once
All of you think the same?
and
It definitely could be different. It may be this, it may be same for all the users. If it is same, it is well and good. But it could be different also. Now, Tatkal ticket booking, guys. Okay? Tatkal ticket booking. Let's say all the users are trying to book the same train. So I can say here, everyone is trying to book the same train, and my expected output is that everyone should be able to book a ticket or get a successful status. Does that happen, guys?
No. It
But
will be different.
for the Tatkal ticket booking, if let's say there is only one user accessing the application, definitely we can say the probability is very high that the ticket will be booked. Let's say there are 10 users, then also I can say for the same input, the ticket will be booked. But let's say if there are 1000 users, but the number of tickets available is, let's say, 500, are all the 1000 users going to get the same output? No. Yes or no? So are all of you understanding, guys? Our objective is not functionality here. Are you getting me or not? Okay. So virtual user, did all of you understand? So the process by which the performance, basically the performance testing tools are going to generate the virtual users. They are not real users, and these virtual users will mimic the user flow which is supposed to be conducted by the real users in production, or rather whatever scope we have in our performance testing, right? These virtual users are going to simulate that. Next, guys, response time. Very, very important, guys. Response time. What is response time? So, in a client server architecture, we have this client. Client means anyone who can tell me what is client? Client is
End
your
user.
browser. Yeah, end user. Yes, very good. End user. So, end user will use the web application on a browser, right? So, I can say my browser is the client. Okay. Whenever they launch the application, what will happen? They hit the URL and hit enter. Then what happens, you know, guys? There is a request which goes to the server. This is my server. The server processes this request, right? Processes this request and then sends back a response. And when that response is loaded on my browser, I can see the home page of the application. I hope you all are aware of this. Yes or no? Who is not aware, guys? Anyone? Similarly, when you see the home page, what will happen? The user will, let's say, click on login, right? Or yeah, the login, let's say the login page is not present on the home page. So there is a hyperlink to click on login. So if they click on login, what happens? Again, a request will go to the server. The server processes that request and then the response comes back. So the login page is displayed. Then the user enters the credentials and hits login. So another request goes. The server processes this request. It authenticates whether valid username and password has been entered, and then the response goes back. So basically, whenever we are doing any transaction, whenever we are going through the application, guys, we are basically doing a series of request and response, request and response. This process is being followed, guys. Are all of you getting me? Now, the server, okay, the server processes this request, right? The server processes this request. So in order to process that request, it will take some time, guys. Yes or no? To process that request, it will take some time. So the time taken by the server to process a request is known as the response time of the server, guys. This is very, very important, guys. Response time means server response time. So the time taken by the server to process the request is known as your response time. Okay. Then throughput. Throughput means output of a system, guys. Output of a system. So now when one user will launch the application, one request will go to launch. If 100 users, guys, if 100 users will launch the application at one time, what will happen? This 100 launch request will go to the server or not? Are all of you understanding?
Yes.
Are all of you understanding? I repeat.
Yes.
When only one user launches the application, a single launch request will go to the server. Agree? But if 100 users are launching the application at the same time, 100 launch requests will go to the server. Now, do you think, guys, the time taken by the server to process the single request and the time taken by the server to process the 100 requests will be the same?
No.
No,
No.
right? Also, the stress, right? The load on the server. When there is only one request, it will be very low. But when there are 100 requests, there will be some load on the server. Yes or no, guys? So throughput means output, guys. If I say in let's say one user, okay, one user is sending the launch request and the server took 1 second to process that request. So in 1 second, how many requests got processed, guys? Only one. If only one user has sent the launch request and the server processes that in 1 second, so can I say in 1 second, one request got processed by the server?
Yeah.
Right? But if let's say 100 request goes to the server, 100 requests goes to the server, and server processes all those 100 requests in 2 seconds. The server processed all the 100 requests in 2 seconds. So I can say that 100 requests got processed in 2 seconds, or rather 50 requests got processed in 1 second. That I can say. So guys, the number of requests processed by the server per unit time, number of requests processed by the server per unit time is known as the throughput. This unit time can be seconds, the unit time can be minutes, the unit time can be hour. Okay, so whatever is the number of requests processed by the server per unit time. Like I gave the example in the first case, 1 request in 1 second, so I can say the throughput was 1. But in the next, I told 100 requests in 2 seconds got processed, so in 1 second 50 requests, so I can say the throughput is 50 per second. Okay, yet I think someone was asking a question.
Yeah, Chandra, I have a doubt here. So the process the request in the sense like when the client is sending some request, so the server is accepting the request and sending the response. So the processing of request means accepting and sending the response. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so the response time is like the time taken by the server to send to the client is the response time.
No, I'll come to that. So response time means basically whatever time it took over here. Okay, that is your response time. Then some time will be involved for, you know, for the response to reach from the server to the client, right? Some time.
Yeah.
So I'll come to that. Okay.
Okay.
There is another term for that. This is not, this is not relevant here, guys. The time taken by the request to reach from the client to the server. No. As soon as the request reaches the server, then only the server can start processing. So from that time, the time will start.
So the response time does not include the time taken from server to reach the client. It does not include.
No. If I go by the definition, the actual definition of response time, it is actually only the time taken by the server to process the request.
Okay. So throughput is like, so what is throughput here in the diagram?
Throughput is like per unit time. Like I gave one example, like if only one user sent one request and that request got processed in 1 second. So the throughput, I'll say 1 transaction per second. But if 100 users sent 100 requests and all those 100 requests were processed by the server in 2 seconds, so per second I can say 50 requests got processed. So I can say 50 is my throughput.
Okay, Chandra, got it. Thank you.
Got it, na? Okay. Thank you so much. Any other queries anyone? See, I am encouraging guys, ask questions. I want you all to ask questions. I'll never discourage you guys to ask questions. Okay?
These notes will be provided, or we have to write down during the class the definitions and all?
The definitions will be provided. The PowerPoint deck will, the slides will also be provided, guys.
Okay.
But again, whatever I'm explaining, everything, those things will not be there in the notes, right? I hope you understand. Because for that we have the recordings.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption. I have one question. So for how many days these demo classes will go on?
So it's not defined like that way. Like yesterday we had the demo session. Today is our regular session. So today is our day 1, and our team has already given the details, right? How to proceed for the payments and all. So today is our first regular session, and that is the team has decided to give it for free today.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So how will be the payment occur? I mean, should It would be something on a UPI to you guys, and
So
or you need to go to.
you must be part of a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think there would be a
you
message
can,
over there, or
yeah, you can like contact that number which was provided in the WhatsApp
yes.
group yesterday. So they will process everything. You can pay the number which they will provide. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Could I know your name, please? My team can reach out to you.
It's Prashant. Prashant. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. Maybe you can put a question in the WhatsApp group, in whichever group you're present, regarding the payments. My team will, respond to you back.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll continue. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, so throughput means number of requests processed by the server per unit time, guys. Okay, then request, I told you, right? Whenever the user does any transaction or navigation, right, on the application, a request will go in the backend, guys. So request goes from client to server. Okay, then we have response. Response means, as I told you, the request will be processed by the server and a response will come back from server to client. Now, guys, the response can be a successful response, or the response can be unsuccessful. That is where I told you, right, that the input A is same for all the users, but the actual output might not be the same. For example, we are trying to view the means during our childhood, we would try to view the exam results. For some people, the results will be published or displayed, but for some people, it will show us 503 service temporarily unavailable. Have you guys experienced that or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Means the application is actually not down, right? But it is not able to handle those many users or those many requests. Yes or no, guys? So that is what. So the response can be successful, the response can be unsuccessful. The request might be the same for all the users, but the response can be successful, response can be unsuccessful. We'll discuss more in details later. Transaction. This is very, very important, guys. Okay. Guys, remember, when I am trying to launch the application, I'm giving one URL and I'm hitting enter. So what is happening? Is the application coming up automatically on its own? No. As I told, one request goes to the server. I'll erase these things, guys, right? So a request, when I'm trying to launch the application, the request goes to the server. Now, when I am hitting the URL, guys, when I'm hitting the URL and hitting enter, or I'll give provide. Can I request everyone to be on mute, please? And if possible, I do not encourage to switch on your videos. Maybe you can turn off your video. Okay, sorry, where was I? Okay, so transaction. Guys, whenever a user enters the URL and hits enter, right, the application opens up. Similarly, once the application opens up, the user will, let's say, hit on login or some other button on the application. Then what happens? That particular page will open up or will appear on the browser. Yes or no? So when the user is doing these things, guys, like providing the URL and hitting enter, or navigating to some page on the application, so the user is performing some action on the application, or not everyone, right? The user is performing some action. This action performed by the user is called as user action. Okay, this action performed by the user is known as user action. Any user action, whenever any user action leads to an interaction with the server, that I can call as a transaction. I repeat. First of all, did all of you understand user action or action by the user on the application? Very simple. User action. Any user action which results in the interaction of the client with the server is known as transaction. Now you all would be thinking that whenever I'll use the application, I'll get some I'll get the interaction with the server. That is not the case, guys. That is not the case. Let's say there is a form. Okay, there are different fields to fill up. This is, let's say, the email field, guys. Email field. Then I have the password field. Then I have the mobile number. In this mobile number field, if I enter alphabets, what is my expectation, guys, from functional point of view?
Numbers.
Error. It should be only the numbers.
It should be the numbers. It should throw some error. Okay. Now, as a good practice, guys, now this form can be developed differently by different developers. Some will say, let the user enter all the fields and then hit submit. Then I will show the error, right? So when I hit submit, definitely the request will go to the server, guys. Okay. But some good developers, what they will do, as soon as you are entering alphabets in this mobile number field, there will be some error message displayed. All of you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Without even hitting the submit button. Yes or no? You are not hitting submit button. Only you are entering alphabets in a field where numbers are only allowed. In that case, I'll get some error displayed. So that is, who can tell me what is that called as?
Pop-up.
No. Not
Handling.
the display part. Yeah, error handling. But again, for error handling, there are two kinds of error handling. Who can tell me what are they?
Positive and negative message.
No.
Okay.
I think someone was saying yes. Before
Client.
that, someone was saying. Yeah, please go on. Continue.
Client side error.
Client side validation. Right? Client side validation means this validation, whether I'm entering numbers or alphabets, is being done on the client side itself. For this validation, no request is being sent to the server. And the other one is server side validation. For example, my username and password, login. If I am giving incorrect username and password without hitting login, will I be able to know whether I have given correct credentials or incorrect credentials? No, right? That has to be validated in the server only. So that is my server side validation. This is my client side validation. Now in this client side validation, the request did not go to the server, guys. So I cannot call this as a user transaction. Did all of you understand? Means this is a user action. The user entered alphabets in a field where numbers are only allowed, but that did not result in an interaction with the server. So I'll not call it as a transaction. But let's say I'm giving invalid credentials, username and password, and I'm hitting login. So I'll get an error message, and that definitely has gone to the server, and then the error message has been displayed. That I'll call as a transaction. Are all of you clear?
Yeah.
Chandra, I have one question here. When you said client side, right, the server side, so any of the validation, it should be synced with both, right? For example, when we say for the mobile as well as the email, both, say for if you give in the client side, in the UI, number should be only numeric. Same match should be in the server as well, right? Because in server side, we cannot have separate validation. So both should be in sync only, right? Is that my understanding is
No. The validation should be. See, I'm not able to understand your question, but your question doesn't apply here because my mobile number is a 10-digit number, right? Now, do you expect my application means I'll enter alphabets, then I hit submit, it goes to the server processes that, checks whether I have entered 10 numbers or not, and then it gives me an error. That can also be done, but that is not a good practice of developing
yeah, because
applications. Because the
okay,
one
because when we say
because when tell me.
yeah, no, sorry,
Tell
before
me.
you continue, when you say server, my understanding is database server. So now you can continue whether based on that, yeah.
Yes. Server means it can be application server, database server, backend, your backend systems. Understood? Now, for this form specifically, I'm saying, when I am entering alphabets in place of numbers, my expectation is that it doesn't need to send a request to the server, because when I'm sending a request to the server, I'm putting a load on the server, guys. If it can be handled in the client itself, on the browser itself, there's no need to send it to the server. So my performance of the application is also not impacted. But here my objective was to explain you that how after doing one user action also, like I was entering the numbers, or sorry, the alphabets, right? So the user was doing some action on the application, but that did not result in an interaction with the server. So I cannot call that as a transaction. Are you getting me? So any user action which results to an interaction between the client and server will be called as a transaction.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Thank you.
So this is transaction, guys. Then transactions per second, I already explained. So the throughput, throughput can also be called as transactions per second, but throughput is a more general thing. Like as I told you, number of requests processed by the server per unit time. So transactions per second, transactions per minute, transactions per hour, all are throughput. So transactions per second is basically a subset of throughput, guys. Okay, transactions per second means the number of transactions processed by the server per second. Okay, so guys, we'll stop the session here today. We'll resume in the next one. But before I stop, anyone has any queries?
So Chandra, like for example, I'm opening the Amazon.com, then that is one transaction.
That is a transaction. Yes.
So again, there I enter the invalid login and password. That is not a transaction.
That is a transaction.
No,
invalid told
the client said
invalid log. If you are entering the invalid login and password without sending that details to the server, can your application tell whether you entered a valid credential or invalid credential?
No, I'm not talking about the invalid credentials. I'm talking about just like general, like.
If you are trying to register a user, for example, on Amazon.com, there is an email field. You are not providing valid values for the email field.
Okay. So
that is not a transaction.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, Chandra.
Okay. I'll show these things.
Chandra, I have one question.
Yeah.
So what is difference between throughput and transition per second? Because throughput is also hit per second, right? And transition per second is also hit per second. That is what
hits per second is different. Throughput can be called as the number of hits per second processed by the server. Throughput means output.
Okay.
Hits per second is requests per second. But I clearly told you here, throughput is a blanket term. Means throughput is number of requests per unit time. That unit time can be per second, per minute, per hour. But transactions per second means specifically it is per second. So I clearly told transactions per second is a subset of throughput.
Okay.
Okay. means transitions per second can also be called as throughput of the system.
Yeah, that is what I was.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
do not deny that. So transitions per second means your throughput of your system. But again, transitions per minute can also be throughput of the system. Transitions per hour can also be throughput of the system. Are you getting me?
yes.
And hits per second means requests per second. It is not. But if I say the number of hits or the number of hits processed by the server per second is the throughput.
Okay.
But the number of hits per second means number of requests per second going to the server.
Okay.
Okay.
So
We'll come to that.
The question.
if possible, tomorrow, can you show the diagrammatic way, like the client and server? Just now you have showed in the beginning, right? Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I was showing these things only, right?
Yeah.
Everything I showed in I'll also show you means what do you want to see in the diagram? I'm not still getting.
So where is throughput here? Where is transaction here? Where is request? I would say response time here in the client and server.
Yeah, but okay, I'll try to do that. But so transitions per second, how can I represent that in the diagram?
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Are you getting me? But
Yeah.
yes, I will elaborate that. Don't worry. Okay, I got your question. I'll try to do that. But anyways, we'll continue tomorrow, guys. We'll stop the session here today. Hope you all enjoy today's session.
Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Have a good one. Thank you for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.